Fresh from the showcase here at SwissWatchExpo, and we have a ton of Patek Philippe's in stock, but this we have today is a Calatrava like no other. If you've been shopping for a dress watch, you know the Calatrava, you love the Calatrava. It's one of the most classic, iconic dress watches, usually very simple, very minimalist, and that's what you want for a dress piece. But guess what? This one's just a little bit different. This here is a very exclusive Patek Philippe 5057 version of the Calatrava in rose gold, and this is what's called the Cortina Jubilee edition. The reason why, if you've ever been shopping for watches, I think anywhere in the Far East, there is a chain of luxury watch stores called Cortina Watch. They have been a very long time retailer of Patek Philippe. And so for their 25-year anniversary, they actually introduced this very unique version of the Calatrava. And I love so much about this watch, mainly because it is still very much a Calatrava. You take one look at this, if you're familiar at all with Patek Philippe's line whatsoever, this should be instantly recognizable. You have the hobnail bezel, you have the straight lugs, you have a fairly petite dress size, really classic look with a bright white dial. It's got all those things, so you know it could not be anything other than a Calatrava. But what this does have, I think you can instantly say, is a lot more complications than a normal Calatrava has. This is not a minimalist dial. This is not a super traditional looking dress piece. Definitely not minimalist at all because of all the stuff that they put on this dial. You have a retrograde power reserve indicator here at 10 o'clock, which I really love. Also, one of my favorite things here is a moonphase indicator at 6. It's very small, but you would expect it to be because they're fitting it in a Calatrava with a date wheel that surrounds it. That's something that they do a lot on their more complicated pieces. I don't see it a lot on the Calatrava. Even if you have an offset seconds hand, usually the date is nowhere to be found. But you do also get an offset seconds hand with this one here at 4 o'clock, which is a really interesting place to put it, but I think that also makes this such a unique piece. Other than that, you do have the painted Roman numerals. That's another just classic Calatrava trait, and that's something that's really going to let you know you got a very special piece. This is definitely a conversation starter amongst Calatrava owners, and because I believe they only made 100 or 200 or so of these pieces, probably not one you're going to run into in the wild at all either. So one thing you would probably suspect that because this has so many complications for such an old school dress watch, this actually does have an automatic movement, not a manual winding movement. That's very good. This, especially the moonphase indicator, would be a huge pain in order to have to wind all the time. And this is an absolutely beautiful piece. I'm actually going to flip it over because not only do you have this beautiful exhibition case back, and also a good bit wider than one I've seen on even some, say, like Captain's caseback versions of the Calatrava or even other Patek dress pieces you've seen in the past. But this also not only does have a much wider date window, but it also actually does say Cortina Jubilee watch actually on applied to the sapphire caseback. So not engraved around the edge, which I think would have been the more traditional look, but they actually put this on the crystal itself, which I think is a real nice touch, and it really doesn't obscure from this beautiful movement that you see back here. You get the jewels, you get this micro rotor, you see the spring. Everything here is just so fantastic in a classic piece. And again, because it's Patek Philippe, you would not know with this case thickness that this automatic movement was really in there at all. Still a very slim, very narrow sort of case thickness that'll easily fit under your dress cuff, because let's be honest, that's probably what you're going to wear this piece for. And again, this is a super unique piece. This is probably more for the Patek Philippe collectors out there. If you're looking for a more traditional Calatrava, maybe your first Patek, we've got a lot more of those than just this, but I was very excited to show it to you. Of course, not just Patek Philippe, not just dress pieces, the whole gamut. Just about any luxury Swiss brand you should realistically want. And if you don't know what we have, you need to check out our new arrivals, because we're dropping a whole bunch of new stuff every single day. So give us a call, shoot us an email, and check out our other videos at SwissWatchExpo.com.